Hi everybody, here we go. Mr. Berkey is going to take you on a wild ride today to go through our main idea. So today what we're going to be doing, we're going to be reading a story that's really exciting and kind of scary. And the story is something that actually happened. So in this story you'll read through and it's diary entries from a girl who's a refugee. At the end of the reading you'll have to answer what you think the main idea is. Before I go through this text, I'm again going to show you something. This is for your math today, so I'm just going to scroll up a little bit. We are not looking for the theme. We are not looking for the life lesson you learned from the reading. Because we're not reading something that's fiction, we're reading something that is non-fiction today. That means it's true. It did happen. So we're trying to find the main idea. Again, a main idea is what you were reading about. What is a main idea? It is what you were reading about. It's normally found in nonfiction. It's always in informational texts. Informational texts are things that teach us about something. The title normally gives you a clear idea of what the main idea is. I want us to look here. Here's our Google document for today. We need to read the text below. Use the scroll bar to go down. While reading, highlight parts that are important to you and help you understand the main ideas. Before we actually do this, I really quickly want to show you something else. I'm going to show you a different article from Common Lit. Just reading the title of this article, what is the main idea of this article going to be? This article is going to be all about how Jackie Robinson changed baseball. That is the main idea. Now, that is not okay for you to write down on your piece of paper, just the title. No, thank you. Christopher Patlin did that. He just wrote the title down for what the theme was last week. That is not okay. That is a third grade work. We are going into 6th grade, so I need you to do more than just write down what the title of your reading is. You need to show me what the main idea is by finding something in here. I'm going to go through and I'm going to read the first part of this. This is not what you are reading for today, but I want to show you an example of how to find the main idea more than just looking at the title. Today you may not be surprised to see African American or Latino players when you turn on the TV to watch Major League Baseball. Maybe your favorite player is a person of color, but baseball has not always been as welcoming to diversity as it is now. In 1947, the famous Jackie Roosevelt Robinson became the first African American to play on a Major League Baseball team. The road he paved was important, but difficult. Now, you see this 1 here? There's also going to be a 1 on the document that you have. The 1 right here just shows where it starts. There will be a different 1. There's a little 1 right here. Meters right there, if you scroll down, it will show you what the definition is in notes. 100 meters is about 328 feet. The same with on Common Lit. Diversity. If I scroll down, I can find the definition for diversity. The inclusion of different types of people. Okay, now I'm going to continue reading, and I'm actually going to highlight different parts that I think are important. Jackie Robinson was born. I don't think his birth is really an important fact. I don't think that is kind of what the main idea of this is. He continued to play all of these sports in junior college. Ironically, he viewed baseball as his weakest sport. He transferred to UCLA to complete his degree, where he became the first athlete to letter in all 4 of those sports. UCLA had some of the most racially integrated college sports teams at the time, but Robinson was still among a very small minority of non-white athletes on his team. I'm just really quickly going to highlight this, and then I'm going to click the highlight tool here. Something that I'm noticing while I'm reading is that Jackie Robinson had to play with a lot of white people, and he was one of the only people of color on his team, and I feel like that would be difficult. Now, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this entire paragraph. There are more important parts that I might highlight a different color, but I think that the main idea of this is that Jackie Robinson is fighting racism. Even early in his life, Robinson confronted racism head-on. In 1938, while he was in junior college, he was arrested after disputing the police's detention of one of his black friends. He managed to escape a long jail sentence, but this and other run-ins with the police earned him a reputation of being very combative against racial oppression. When the U.S. entered World War II, Robinson enlisted in the Army. He never saw direct combat, but his early military career was marred by racial problems. While stationed in Texas, Robinson boarded a non-segregated bus, but was instructed to sit in the back anyway. He refused, and military police took him into custody for his insubordination. Fortunately, 1 month later, an all-white jury acquitted him, but the situation foreshadowed only more of the same prejudice he'd face later in life. Now, I'm not going to read the rest because I don't have time, but when you are reading the story, I want you to highlight in the same way. I'm going to show you how to highlight, and right now, what the main idea from what I've read, I understand that Jackie Robinson had to overcome racism in order to become one of the first baseball players of all time that competed nationally for the Major League Baseball team who was black. He was one of the first people to do that. So I'm highlighting these different things that are going to help me come up with my main idea. Is my main idea the same as what the title is? No, it's a little bit different. It's still close, but it's different. Just like how I want you to find something different than saying this is a diary of a teenage refugee. That's not the main idea. The main idea is what this story is about. So while you are reading, I want you to find those important parts, just like I did in the Jackie Robinson story that helped me come up with a main idea. I need to see how much time I have left. I have a little bit more. So I'm going to show you how to highlight. You do not need to highlight the parts I highlight, but I do highly recommend you reading through this not once, but twice, and looking for the main idea. Did you see how I went back on the Jackie Robinson story and highlighted the Major League Baseball team? I forgot what the name of the Major League Baseball team was, so I went back and highlighted it. When you go back into the text and find certain things that you need to know, you can highlight those so that it helps you remember. I did that for my example to show you that. Now, to highlight what you do, you will click with your mouse pad. You will pull with your finger. You will stop, you'll take your fingers off the mouse pad, and then you will come up here, you will click highlight color with your mouse pad. Just click once, and then you will pick a color. I am really impressed by some people. Kamari has been highlighting. I know Takaya has been highlighting. Several of you who are watching the videos have been highlighting, and I'm really impressed because some of you who are highlighting really grew last week. You grew in your understanding of what theme was, and I hope that this week, some of you who were writing down the main idea instead of the theme actually watch these videos, and it helps you grow your brain. Because I cannot wait for you to read this story. It's a very important story that teaches us something about a young girl, and it shows us the struggles that she faced, and I can't wait for you to come up with what you think the main idea is. Remember, before I leave you, the main idea is what you are reading about, okay? What is the story about? And it needs to be about one sentence. You can have 2 sentences for your main idea, but it should be about 1 sentence, okay? After you write your 1 sentence for your main idea, you need to use text evidence to support your answer. You can copy and paste, or you can write down text evidence that supports it, and then make sure you put quotation marks around it. Something I noticed last week, we always need to make sure before we use our quotation marks, we need to always say, I know my answer is correct because in the text it says, put a comma, and then put your quotation marks, okay? After you have your quotation and text evidence, just like I have written down here, then you need to explain why the text evidence helps you support your answer. If you are struggling with this, please give me a call. I can actually go on and look at the document with you and talk you through it. I did that with about 6 of my 3rd graders when I was teaching 3rd grade this school year, and it was really helpful for them because I was able to actually highlight things on the document for them to see. So please let me know if you need help. Good luck. I know you are capable of doing this because you're all going into 6th grade, and I know that you will do amazing. Really quickly, I do want to shout out Robert Jones for having some of the most amazing work last week. Same with Kiara. Keep up the great work, and I will give you shout outs if you show me great work today. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.